Good morning, Hallowed family. This is After Dawn, the show where we sit down to have a cup of coffee with the cast, crew, and creators behind the Hallowed Haven Studios productions. I'm Saul, and I'm joined by my co-host, Vironz.
Yes, hello, I'm Vironz, and today we're talking about Hunter Wayfarer Season 2, Episode 6. We got to see what happened to Rosanna during last week's episode while they were gone, and we got to fully see who the speaker was, and we got to see Scott meet Katie Lynn in person at the new compound. Honestly, I felt very happy during this episode. I felt very bizarrely happy. I felt like it was also a very happy episode for some reason. And I had my mind blown when the speaker revealed themselves as Loki. I was absolutely shattered. But my opinion is not the only one here. What are your thoughts, Saul?
I agree. I actually really enjoyed seeing Katie Lynn in person and actually getting to see everyone interacting with Katie Lynn and the speaker, especially after so much build-up. I actually really liked the fact that there was so much build-up and there wasn't conflict necessarily. I was also very excited to see the speaker be revealed to be Loki, because I actually was informed of the speaker's true nature a little bit beforehand, and as soon as I heard it's like his name is Liam Key, I'm like, oh, of course it is. So, but it was very fun to see them interact with this being that they were just like, oh, we are now very out of our depths here. Let's try not to fight it. But mine is also not the only opinion. Today we're joined by two of our players, Legacy and Aubrey. Hello.
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 Okay. So for our questions, how do you guys as players deal with the stress and pressure your character is put under? Like Isabel's curse and Rosanna's recent reunion, for example.
Well, I mean, I can start things off. Honestly, the curse as a player has been so much fun to deal with. To have this thing thrown at my character that just absolutely upends so much and is kind of making her, think about certain things that maybe she hasn't thought about in a while. And especially to playing a character that is like, yeah, I'm fine around corpses, to suddenly having to deal with this and maybe being like, maybe I'm not actually so fine around corpses. Maybe I'm doing a lot of repressing trauma, and learning especially that the curse itself is tied into the trauma that she has. And it's like, I guess I have to somehow work past this trauma in helping to get rid of this curse, and I think it is sort of putting a fun little spin on this character and her journey.
Yeah, and I think that for Rosanna, especially where she is kind of now having to deal with the trauma that not only is her sister like alive and well, but is also doing kind of like not so great things to what's giving the two of them the power that they have. She I now have to get creative. It's forcing me to get a little bit more creative with my approach to Rosanna's dealings with the supernatural. She's not necessarily growing more empathetic, but she is going to be getting a lot more cautious around the different types that she deals with, especially like the ones that she feels have maybe not that they're like falling victim to anything, but like the ones that don't seem to genuinely want to do anything wrong. she's grown a bit more of a maybe it's time that we take down this second Inquisition.
All right.
A little more apt to ask questions before immediately guns blazing.
Well, she's always kind of been like that. Even in season 1, curious. She is a very curious person, but now she's more willing to go in and do the research and see, like, okay, well, are they really as bad as specific people in our cell might make them out to be? Because I'm dealing with one who's dealing with the abuse of quite literally my blood. So a bit more curious, a bit more cautious.
Absolutely fair enough. We have asked this question before, but as the season goes on, the answer can change. What has been the favorite moments from the season so far for both of you?
Oh god, that the reveal for the speaker is definitely up there for me, because I didn't put it together. I didn't put those things together, and I wasn't like my just general World of Darkness meta knowledge from playing it. I just didn't think anything about all of this Norse stuff that was dropped in my lap, and I just went, "This is neat." And he goes, "I'm Loki," and I go, looking at all the puzzle pieces I didn't put together, being like, "I'm a dumbass." But it was so much fun, and it was just like, I look back at everything and I go, yeah, that makes sense now.
I did love his little addition of just like, yeah, my middle name's Oswald. Put that together. Surprise! It's not that clever.
Yeah, definitely one of one of my absolute favorites is that whole, like, beginning to end of that was just so phenomenal, because everybody reacted so naturally, not just to the speaker, but just to being in, like, the room in which a cult is existing and, like, living in. I think that all of us had such, like, unique reactions to being in this shared space with somebody that, you know, none of us knew going into it. None of our characters knew what was going on, if we were going to make it, because this guy could have come in and just wiped the floor clean with us, and we don't have any weapons. We have no real ways of protecting ourselves. And so, like, I think that, like, everybody's reactions to the scenario and the scenario playing out itself was just chef's kiss.
It was very good.
It was fantastic.
And then the whole, like, we should be prepared. Let's bring explosives. Nah, maybe we don't want to bring explosives.
How about
that was one of my
no?
favorite things of the episode, is just the talk of you wanting to bring explosives, planning on bringing explosives, and then just going like, maybe not.
Perhaps not.
Yeah.
So, with the finale not exactly in sight, but on the horizon, what are some of your theories for what's going to be happening, and and goals for what will happen in the next few episodes?
Go ahead. I'm still.
I think honestly, my theory is that we're either going to be dealing with the werewolves or with Rin within the next couple of episodes. I think that I think it's more likely that we deal with the werewolves. Or with that guy, what's his name, Vincent, or the thousands of other aliases that he has.
Yep.
Yeah. I am super excited to see who, if you know, this Vincent guy has somebody coming on and playing him. I'm very excited to see who we get to look in the eye and kill.
So much bloodlust.
Who, me? Never.
I feel like it might be earned at this point.
I
Right?
mean, I think Isabel has kind of dibs on that because she's dealing with the curse.
Fair.
Did you ask him to turn it off?
I haven't talked to him yet.
It's fair.
Have you just tried turning it off and on again?
Your curse is working incorrectly. Turn it off and then on again.
Oh my god. I will say, I am absolutely thrilled though to see that BP is taking characters from games that I used to run for HHS and using them. So I'm very excited to see how that plays out.
Oh, really? For those at home who may not know, what do you mean by that?
So Vincent is actually a character that when we first started HHS, we I ran our first ever flagship show, which was a 10 or like a 7-episode series called Chicago Reborn, about coming into the world of the Camarilla as brand new kindred after an illegal embrace. And Vincent is one of the characters that was in that game. I forget who played him. Somebody totally, I don't know who it is. And the show, ended with, I don't want to give like too many spoilers in case somebody wants to go back and watch it. But the show ends with like the group like splitting up and kind of going and doing whatever they want to do, right? So when BP was making Wayfarer, we decided that we were going to make all of our World of Darkness games in a shared universe. So all of the things that happen in the various shows impact one another. So it was just really cool. I don't know. It was really neat.
I'm excited for that as well. Just that stuff. And yeah, I think the way things will either be the first two pretty interchangeable. It's either going to be werewolf and dealing with the Linnaeus Society, and then I think it's all going to end with like a confrontation with Rin.
Just like dealing with the entirety of the Second Inquisition, that consequences of that.
It's going to be so much fun for Isabel. Fun, sarcastically.
So, Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
You've been getting a lot of use of knowing how to cry on demand. How did this develop?
So I used to do a lot of acting when I was younger. And because of it, my school offered acting classes that you could take as kind of like an extracurricular activity. So when I was in high school and taking these acting classes, the gentleman who was running those classes basically was like, if you need to make a convincing cry on stage, you got to tone in and tap into something that makes you really sad. And so anytime that I feel like it's appropriate to cry, I just kind of put myself into the mind space of like, okay, well, I mean, like, this is really sad, and like this brings me a lot of heavy emotion. And it helps me kind of play a little bit better into really, really emotional scenes where crying is almost like a necessity. Because we all know what it's like to like just need a good cry, or to like feel something so strong that it could bring you to tears. I think everybody's had kind of like something like that. So just tapping into like that emotional state and being able to kind of like pull from that, it's a blessing and a curse.
Well, and here I was thinking that you were just like, squeezing like onions or something and like using a rag and just putting it right under your eye.
Yes, the invisible rag.
So I actually have a question directly for you, Aubrey.
Uh-huh.
How now that we're 6 episodes in, how does it feel playing Isobel? Like, what's the changes that you've seen from like what you planned originally?
Well, Isabel in my initial like concepts and stuff is a character that is very detached from the world of the living. Who spent most of her time around corpses and got used to it, and sort of pulling her away from her morgue and the corpses that she was her usual company has been fun. And I think it's sort of she's a very I mean, BP even created a merit that she gave to me called coldly logical or something. And it very much describes her as just like Isabel is rational first, emotions second. And it's suddenly realizing that, okay, maybe I actually should consider the emotions of what is going on, even though I don't exactly understand them. And doesn't really, it's like kind of just like, I don't fully understand how to deal with somebody who is very emotional. But I feel like she's better than she was in episode 1, but still not great.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
Someday she'll learn what bedside manners are.
And most of her most of the people she was working with didn't complain.
That's true.
Mostly because they couldn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say 10 out of 10 remarks from all of her previous patients.
Exactly.
Everyone just goes to check in and it's like, so what do you think? And then all the corpses just have their thumbs up for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, just before rigor mortis set in, she put their thumbs up.
Yeah. So, as it was pretty important for this episode, what are your favorite pizza toppings? Because who knew we were going to have a pizza party with a Norse god of trickery?
Yes, the Norse god corporate sponsored pizza party.
Sponsored by
Exactly.
Papa John's.
Oh God!
Not Papa John's. They
Anything
not that
but
one.
cardboard on a plate. Okay.
Let's be real. If it was going to be anyone, Loki would probably choose Papa John's just to mess with people.
Probably.
I feel like Loki would at least have some sort of taste. Come on.
Maybe for himself, not for anyone else.
I don't know. I gotta say, like, my favorite. I'm so weird and I'm so controversial in my pizza toppings. Pineapple and like black olives is like my go-to pizza. Mhm.
Sweet and salty, like Deadpool.
I was actually gonna say that's just sweet and sweet. I don't know. I've had olives. A lot of olives on pizza for me are just sweet, which might be weird.
I also go pineapple. But then I'll usually do like ham and then sometimes spinach and barbecue sauce.
Did you say
Mm.
tuna?
No, spinach.
No, spinach.
Spinach.
I just heard something before spinach, and I just went.
It was ham,
Okay.
pineapple, ham, spinach,
Not
barbecue
it.
sauce.
Tuna sounds like it's actually
I will
worth being
say-
smite.
I will say one of the best pizzas though I've ever had was a barbecue chicken pizza with pineapple on it.
Oh yeah, that was also
sound
real
good.
good.
Personally, I'm vegetarian. So I don't quite enjoy meat. I typically just go for every pepper that they have.
Mhm.
Every
Mhm.
single one.
Like
So,
Isabel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, except I don't particularly care for mushrooms, so I wouldn't put the mushrooms on.
I decided that in the moment. I just when they asked
I
what
love
pizza
mushrooms.
toppings, it literally just came to me, and I just go, "Yeah, Isabella's mushrooms and pepper. Peppers, just all of them."
Yeah.
Every pepper.
Yeah, no, I do genuinely put every single pepper that they have on the menu on there, and every single pepper, and then I put olives. What about you, Saul?
I'm just big. I'm really big on mushrooms and olives. So if when it comes to actually meat, I actually do enjoy meat on pizza. So I usually could just go for pepperoni because usually whenever you try other types of meat from various places, it can be kind of a toss up because like the ham could actually be really good, or it could just be like flimsy rubber. And the same with the sausage, which it could be like really good or just full of fennel seeds, which I absolutely despise.
No.
Well, that would mean that's homemade sausage, or pretty damn close to homemade.
Eh. So we talked about how the World of Darkness games are all connected. How did it feel seeing that this game was also sort of connected to Apotheosis?
Let's just say seeing the connection between Apotheosis and Wayfarer is making me really excited for a game that we have coming up soon.
Ooh.
It reminds me that I need to watch the rest of Apotheosis. I've only seen part of it.
Oh, to sort of. Oh, I don't know if I can. I mean, I want to hype it, but I don't think it's been said out loud by any of our admin of when Apotheosis is coming back. I can say that it is coming back, and I am very excited. I think that's all I want to say.
I'm very excited too.
I think from the fear of BP, I don't think I'm allowed to say when. I'm pretty sure I know when. But I don't think I'm allowed to say.
Oh. I think the scene though, because I can confirm this, Apotheosis and our World of Darkness games take place on like separate worlds. So seeing that there is somehow a tie between the two universes is something that is going to warrant a lot of questions, and we are very excited to get you those answers, hopefully soon. I know you can't see me right now, but I'm definitely looking into the camera.
Yeah, I'm excited. There are some very good shows coming up. That again, I don't think I'm fully allowed to say what they are. I just know most of what our schedule is for the rest of the year, and I am unbelievably excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Legacy is too. Because she also knows what the schedule is.
Oh yeah. We've got some really fun projects coming up, so I'm very, very beyond thrilled to for the next couple of months. HHS is going to have a fantastic 2023, and I think an even better 2024.
I will say August after Wayfarer is done. August is going to be the month to look forward to.
Yeah, we got some really fun stuff starting up.
Yeah.
It's going to be very busy for some of us.
Yeah, some of us.
Not. I mean, I know who.
It's me.
It's both of you.
Yeah.
God. And then me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yeah. And Aubrey's just like, I'm just here.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Aubrey's just straight vibes. Listen,
we're happy. We're happy to have you here.
Very happy. So I think it is about time to move on to the Drinking the Cup segment, where we ask some questions about the characters and the events of the episode. So we actually have some questions from our chat. Gavin reads words, would like to know, what are the motivations behind your characters and what keeps them going at this point?
spite.
That's fair. that tracks.
Yeah, that tracks for Rosanna right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Isobel, there's something that it's been hinted at a lot. There's a promise that she needs to keep to somebody, just specifically Allison. So that is one of the big things that keeps her going. BP knows a lot more because I write about it a lot in Isabel's journal, and I, holding the secret close to the chest, just because I want to.
Yeah. I think for Rosanna, I mean, like, I made the joke of like spite, but I think a lot of it too is just like, despite everything that she's kind of going through right now, she also has promises that she made to people, and she fully intends on keeping them. The big thing that she's like fighting for right now is like relief for the Fae that's bound to her and her bloodline. And then the rest is spite for all of the other stuff. um but she's just wants, at this point, I think another big thing that she's fighting for is just like peace of mind. The girl's going through some stuff. I don't want to give too much away of what else she's going through, because that's going to be playing in probably later on. But she's fighting for just a little bit of peace, and getting up every day and having to go out and deal with all of the other unanswered questions that we have in the game, because we still got a lot that we're going to be looking into. In no way, shape, or form are we done with our jobs quite yet, but soon things are going to come to a head, and that's what she's kind of fighting for, is for everybody to finally get a chance at a little bit of peace. And strawberry creams, of course, but
Exactly.
So, I actually got one from Overthinker, who that was from the live stream chat. What are your characters' favorite pizza? Is it just very much like same as what the players is, or the characters have different tastes?
Oh, I definitely said it in the episode. Isabel's is mushrooms and peppers.
Yep. And what about Rosanna, who decided not to eat any pizza because of paranoia?
I don't think it was paranoia, but I'd have to say hers is probably like like green bell pepper and probably like chicken. She's very she's very soft. She doesn't need much. Mostly just likes to pile on the cheese, I think, though. Like, good stuff.
That's fair.
Extra cheese. Well, I mean, we can hope that she's at least not lactose intolerant or have IBS.
Yeah, I mean, she's a gorgeous girl, so it's up in the air.
Yeah. So what were you guys thinking about when you were going to meet the speaker?
I honestly, it was going back and forth. It was just, are they luring us in so they can just wipe us off the map so we can stop being a problem? Because it was the whole, they're like, we're being so friendly. And I'm like, you're being too friendly. You're being too friendly that it has become suspicious for these people who, anytime they've, like, literally, so many things have happened. Anytime something nice happens, something worse happens as well. And so it was a lot of just like trying to not get too carried away with paranoia, because it's just like, okay, they're inviting us here in broad daylight right now, so hopefully they're not trying to wipe us off the map, but also that's a little sus. And now that we know certain things, wait, never mind, a lot of these things make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Rosanna absolutely thought that it was a trap the entire time. But she also wasn't really like fully thinking straight either. So, but was skeptical of the moment that they stepped out of the RV to go and see this guy. Especially considering what happened to Zephyr. She was like, "Oh, this guy's just luring us in so he can like consume our souls and like throw us into the trash."
Yeah.
There was that.
Yeah.
We had just had the corpse dropped on our table, like literally last session, of just being like, "This is what the speaker does." Capri Sun.
Yep, absolutely.
That is the most apt description.
Yeah.
Look like a Capri Sun on a hot summer day.
Okay. So I mean, after hearing what Ascension really was and being invited to play Game of Truth, how scared were you guys?
I think at that point, Isabel had started to like settle into the, okay, this is not an instant trap. They're not going to just fucking murk us as soon as we walk in the door. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I think there was still like a little bit of like skeptical like feeling with Rosanna. Again, especially seeing like there is just a giant cult. So like it might not be like all of a sudden, but this guy could still like take us down whenever he wants, and he could just be using this game of truth to get like last minute answers out of us before he kills us. But then it kind of dawned on me after, just like, there's no way in hell he would have let Katie Lynn see Arthur if that was his full intent. And then I think with that, Rosanna was probably able to settle in a little bit more and be a bit more comfortable with where they were. Especially with the what's possibly going on with Katie Lynn. Not that we as players know that, but I mean, not that we as characters know that, but we as players probably were able to breathe just like a little tiny bit, because you wouldn't do that to somebody who has a growing family, whatever that might mean.
Might mean that we're getting some demigods.
Oh
boy.
Man.
Sound versus World of Darkness. Let's go. Okay. There were a lot of overdue reunions in the last episode. If Isabel were to reunite with someone from their past, who would it be?
There's somebody that Isabel writes a lot about in her journal. Someone named Ember, who was their longtime partner, like 6 or 7 years. They were together for a really long time and only recently split up. So it's like 6-7 months, I think I established in my journals. So there's been a lot of times where like things are happening and Isabel wants to talk to somebody comforting, and someone that she knows can like understands her and knows like what she's dealing. Like Ember didn't know specifically. Ember was not aware of like the spookier things, but it was just like, I'm dealing with very stressful things right now. I just need a friendly someone to talk to, and it's like I always like sometimes like when I know Isabel's gonna make a call, I roll a dice just in my dice thing. It's just like, is she gonna crack and call this person for emotional support? And so far she has not.
Fair enough. So, what is highest up on the list of targets for both of your characters? Some people might have ideas, but just let's get it on the record.
For Rosanna, definitely, Rin has made her top priority. I don't think I need to fully explain why. I definitely think that little scene between the two sisters might have justified her reason for that.
Definitely.
Just a little. Oh God, like Isabel is very torn between like, oh, that's a pack of werewolves, an entire pack of werewolves, not just one or two. So that is very important. But also like getting her hands on Vincent to get him to try and get him to reverse the curse and various other things.
Yeah, that's the main thing I was curious about. I was just like, is Isabel still focused on getting the curse removed, or has a pack now shifted focus?
It is there. Because of the way the curse works, it really impacts like what she can do, and if it's gone, that will really help her out in being able to support the group in what she is like what she can do without like being an absolute willpower sink.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, a pack of wolves is terrifying, but if you can't take care of yourself before dealing with them, you are most likely not gonna remain breathing or together.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to end up over there, and up there.
Exactly.
And then possibly in a few other spaces,
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to the spilling the tea segment. This section is a bit freeform with questions tailored towards the WTF moments of the episode, controversies, rumors, our love interests, because we have one of them here today of our big ones.
Ooh.
So we invite you guys to ask each other and us any pressing and hard questions that you might have. I'm going to start us off, though.
Okay.
How did the Loki reveal affect your perceptions of Arthur's past?
Oh,
It's a great question because it's
that's a
like
really good question.
I think I've said canonically like Isabel reads a lot about like true crime and cults and weird things like that because it's what spooky goth girls do. And it's kind of like, yeah, I'm aware of the pattern of cults work, and oh my god, you had the ultimate grifter as your cult leader. I understand why you were really devoted to this cult for a while.
Mm-hmm. Especially like Rosanna is like super into like occult stuff too. She just kind of goes about it in a different way than Isabel. So like the moment that they found out that it was Loki that they were dealing with, I think that things kind of started to make just like the tiniest bit more sense. But it's also just like well, how do you come back from that? Like you just found out that this literally this thorn in your side is a god. I definitely think that she feels probably a bit more empathetic towards like his situation, because you can't compete with the god.
Yeah.
Like no matter what we would have done, had we gotten into some sort of like physical conflict, that wouldn't have ended good for anybody. So she's a bit like, I now understand why you were afraid of like what this guy can do.
Fair enough. With meeting the cult, how does Rosanna now feel about Arthur after meeting Katie Lynn and seeing them interact?
Ooh.
On top of having to deal with meeting Rin. Can't catch a break.
Yeah, poor girl can't ever catch a break. she's feeling really conflicted right now. You know, it's her main goal when she decided to kind of like help Arthur reconnect with Katie Lynn was like, ultimately I just want this guy to be happy because he looks like, and like it feels like that he's just been through a lot. And then when like feelings started getting involved, there was just like the tiniest part of her that was just like, well, what if this woman doesn't want anything to do with him anymore? That would be, you know, that would kind of suck, but you know, that'd be fine too. And now that she like meets, it had so much happen to her while she was in this coma, wakes up and then is just kind of like sideswept with okay, now we're going to meet a cult, and we're staying at this cult's house, and here's Arthur's wife. She's not feeling super great.
That's valid.
Yeah.
It's very valid.
So, but we'll see. Definitely not jealous at all. None. Not even like the tiniest bit.
Not even once.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Not a smidge.
No jealousy in that little heart.
Nope.
Now I gotta ask. I'm gonna ask everyone actually.
Mhm.
What are you guys thinking is the most dangerous group so far that we've been presented with? The Linnaeus Society, actually, group in person because I forgot. The Linnaeus Society, Rin, or the Pack of Werewolves.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of a toss up between Rin and the werewolves.
Like Linnaeus Society, kind of scary, but
like Pack of Werewolves, crazy psychopath with true faith,
or spooky ghost people.
or spooky ghost people. Like, I'm sorry, the spooky ghost people are kind of taking the bottom tier for me right now.
Yeah. They're the least of our problems because they aren't, like, other than them probably taking Victoria's body, they aren't actively working against us right now. And technically, as far as we're aware, the curse was just a fuck with us. It wasn't like they're actively targeting us. They haven't been since then, as far as we are aware. So it is definitely, it's like they're not actively coming after us to murder us. If we still had Victoria's body, maybe they would be. But the werewolves actively trying to murder us. Pretty sure that Rin and her group are going to be actively trying to murder us soon.
Yep. 100%.
It's which one gets to us first.
Yep.
Or it could be which one you run from last.
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
I actually have just out of personal curiosity. Were there any questions that you may have wanted to ask Loki but didn't get the chance to?
I had made a joke when we went on break. As like a bit of a callback to Apotheosis. Because I know Rosanna wouldn't ask this question, I didn't have her do it, but something desperately in me wanted to be like, so like, is the horse thing true? Because it's kind of gross.
That was pretty central to what they knew about Loki and Apotheosis.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
What about you, Aubrey?
God, it was anything specifically. I think there were like just questions, I guess. Isobel is the kind of person that actually would just love to just dig down into Loki and be like, what can you do? What exactly can you do? Like, yeah, I've heard stories, like I've heard the you know, the myths, but what exactly can you do? Because
course,
then it
you're also
immediately
sorry, you go ahead.
I was saying then it just immediately becomes I want to study Loki.
Yuck. Of course, then you also have to remember that he's the god of liars, so
Yeah.
that's another thing. Do you really think you guys can trust Loki, given his reputation?
I mean, I think we can trust him for now, but it's kind of just because we're all working in the same direction. So I think for now we can trust him. Until like we are no longer all working towards the same goal of Loki going the fuck away.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wants that more than he wants to play tricks with us.
Fair enough, though. Do keep in mind he does love to do things for shits and giggles.
I mean,
Fair.
myth-wise, he at least killed someone for shits and giggles.
Yeah, he's like, this will be fun.
And how's that working for him?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how are you guys? Are there any thoughts of in the group in your guys' little text channel? Are there any ideas of how you might create the hole in space?
No,
Nope.
absolutely none.
Not a clue. We know that we need somebody with faith, and we know we need a changeling, and I think we've got sort of got both. But that's all we know.
My other thought, just because it's been introduced, is like getting gun shop.
Yeah,
And-
we'll
and-
have to get a mage probably.
Yeah, and get our friend who is helping Piper.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a couple of different ways that we can kind of go about it. The only problem is it's unfortunately you can't Google how to open portal to another world. Because I feel like that would solve a lot of our problems, but unfortunately, yeah.
Well, I mean,
You're
you
not-
can, but it might not give you the right answer.
Yeah, I don't want to know
also
what
might put you on
that
a list.
Google.
It also might put you on a list for the Second Inquisition.
I mean, we're already at Danger 5. What's another point, I guess?
How could things get worse?
I mean, that was brought up during the episode. I mean, it's not designed to. It assumes that you guys aren't going to go past, but it can.
100%. And that's what's scary.
Incredibly scary.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for each other, character-wise, or for BP,
Or for us,
or
or
for
anyone
us?
else?
My question to BP still stands after many weeks of working on Wayfarer. What the fuck?
I think that has been a standard question from everyone, so we'll definitely have to ask.
Sorry, I forgot to specify this time.
Yeah. I always enjoy hearing people's favorite moments, like theories that people have, especially if they're not in the cast and they don't have that extra. It's like, what are you thinking? Like, what are your favorite moments? Because like there are so many good moments, but also like we're so in it, like when it's happening, that like a moment may happen and we don't think anything much of it, but like people love it. It was a great moment. And then suddenly we're like, oh, you really enjoyed that moment? And we weren't thinking about it at the time.
Yeah, what is your guys' favorite moments of the show so far?
Shopping. The little shopping scene that we had earlier this season.
Yeah, it was really cute. I honestly really liked the introduction of Gun Shop. Just like someone who's very, very like, yeah, this is what I found. I probably could help you out. Don't mess with me, or else I'll like turn your RV into bubbles.
That was a good moment too.
It was kind of fun seeing a mage come in and know that they can throw their weight around,
It did.
Mm-hmm.
and did.
No, man. I have another question for you guys. I'm just gonna put the both of you on the hot seat.
Oh boy,
Who's your favorite character?
Gozer.
Player character.
Damn it. I'll let Vironz go first with this one.
Oh God. Okay. 3 episodes I would have said Rosanna, just because we were still getting those visions and we still didn't quite know. God, but now it has to be Piper, because I like the unknown and I like the tragedy, as we've been learning through the season of After Dawn. I quite like tragedy and I quite like mysteries. I'm gonna say right now, Piper's my favorite character, because so little is. I mean, we know so much yet so little about their curse and like why they have it. So I think right now that's it.
I'm actually also quite a big fan of Piper, but only just because I love the fact that, honestly, a good bit of the more recent danger and desperation increases have come from Piper being like, I can do this, I'm the best at this, and then something going wrong. Or digging too deep too quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got to be Piper for me. I think that's it. Now, when
Good
they
answer.
listen to this, they're gonna have a bigger ego,
Of course.
and it's going to go to danger level 7. We're gonna go past 6. We're gonna go to 7.
Of course.
Danger level 15. Let's go.
Yeah.
Just the most danger. Turn the entire continent against one particular cell.
All the supernaturals go like, fuck these people specifically.
In particular.
Oh.
Kind of like what happened with the antediluvian. No. Yeah, the antediluvian.
What about you guys? Who's your guys' favorite characters aside from your own?
SBCs can be included.
Yeah. And you can't say Gozer because you didn't let me say Gozer.
I can say Gozer. Gozer's an SPC. Fuck you.
Damn it.
I don't know. I do really love Loki.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a fun reveal.
I gotta say, I think one of my favorites is Cricket.
Cricket has been pretty amazing.
Cricket has been pretty amazing. I like the sharp wit that Nico provides for the character. I think it's a great like quick like back and forth between like them and the cell, and I am really hoping that we get Nico back for more episodes. They have been phenomenal as Cricket, and getting to see some of the shenanigans that they helped the group with is always has actually been very, very fun.
Yeah.
Is there anything else people would like to ask us or possibly even others for the future?
I will ask predictions for like how the season will end.
Ooh. I personally think it's going to end with a whole lot of trauma, probably mostly physical because the werewolves are coming.
Oh, I mean, I mean, in the post-show stuff, I believe it was Legacy who made the joke of double the trauma and pass it to the next person. And somebody
Yep.
else said, and somebody else, I think it might have been it might have been Termite who said, but there's nobody else in the room, so you just doubled it for yourself. So I think almost everybody is aware that trauma is forever.
Yeah.
Forever with this group.
Yeah.
Trauma doesn't stop. And there's still however many episodes are left in the season to continue to traumatize us.
At most 4. Actually, well, I guess 3 now. But yeah.
Yep. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening. These episodes are dropped Thursdays at noon for the $5 plus tier. They're released to the public 1 month later, so think about subscribing so you can keep up to date with your talk news for Hallowed Haven Studios. I'm Sol, and this has been After Dawn. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.